This is One on One. This is a fascinating young lady. She's Martel Catalano, co-founder and executive director of an organization called Beyond My Battle. How you doing?
Great, I'm so happy to be here.
Let me disclose that I knew you when you were a little kid.
Yes.
You and your brother and your family, and great family.
Yeah.
But I'm fascinated that you are doing what you're doing right now. Beyond My Battle is?
So first and foremost, we're a nonprofit organization, and we're helping individuals and their loved ones manage the emotional stress that comes with any kind of illness or disability. And
you have faced and continue to face a challenge in that regard. Talk about it.
Right. So I have an incurable disease myself called retinitis pigmentosa. It's an inherited eye condition that affects the retina and essentially kills the rods in your eyes over the course of your life, leaving you with, when I was diagnosed at 13, I realized I had a huge issue with night vision. I couldn't see in the dark like my friends could. And then I grew to learn that it would slowly start to take my vision from the outsides in, so loss of peripheral vision as well, leaving you with tunnel vision, but probably legal blindness at some point down the road.
Go from that to why you created this organization.
Yeah, so...
Because you could just have worried about yourself, felt bad about yourself, and...
Which I did for a long time.
Sorry for yourself. Well, who could blame you?
Yeah, definitely. Well, it started out with me feeling bad about myself for a long time, definitely. I really dissociated from having this disease, really didn't think about it for at least a decade. I was diagnosed with depression, anxiety, eating disorders, and was medicated for those things, which really was just addressing these symptoms of the problem, but I needed to go into the root of the problem and really learn why I was depressed, learn why I was so anxious, which myself and I think my family would attest to, we just really weren't doing at home. From there, I personally started studying yoga, mindfulness, started meditating, started thinking of ways that I could just accept what was going on in my life. I knew that I couldn't change having RP, but I could change the way I was responding to having it. It was never going to go away. It was probably going to only get worse, and I needed to change myself from the inside. And then I met a friend who is now a dear friend of mine and the co-founder of Beyond My Battle, my friend Nell, who has cystic fibrosis. And I don't know what you know about CF, but it affects, first and foremost, your lungs and your digestive system. But when we met, there was just a spark. We immediately realized that we were supporting each other in a way that support groups didn't do for us, that when we were only surrounding ourselves with people who have the same thing we have, there tends to be a lot of stress and negativity and comparison there. So we realized that because even though we couldn't relate to what each other was experiencing on a physical level, we could totally understand each other on an emotional level. We had all the same feelings of fear and anxiety, frustration, social embarrassment, all of these similar emotions and themes. So we created a support group on Facebook, and from there, the need for the nonprofit really just came to us.
The total time from then to now?
We created the support group about 1.5 years ago, and we've only been a 501c3 since February.
You know, it's not fair to a lot of folks, but I'm thinking back to when I knew you when you're a kid, right? And you always struck me as artistic, creative, because you were,
and
definitely. Are. That part of you, that very deep, creative, artistic part of you, it's still there, isn't it?
Definitely, yeah. I went to college for art, and then I sort of transitioned and I did my MBA, but all the while really focused on how to present things, how to create things. I'm definitely an idea person, and it was through that ideation that came about Beyond My Battle, definitely.
Beyond My Battle, there's a toolkit, isn't there?
Yes, that's our first, the first resource that we're developing.
By the way, people go on the website and check it out, so go ahead.
Yeah. We're creating a number of resources for both the individual living with any kind of disease or disability as well as their loved ones, because we know that that's really stressful too. The toolkit is for both. It addresses both sides of the aisle, and it essentially is just a collection of fundamental tools and strategies that have been proven to bring you down off of that stress state, bring you back to a state of calm, which is critical for people living with chronic illness and disability. And we filled the toolkit with 5 tools, first being the most important one, which is releasing next week. That tool is called Relationship. It's extremely important to have healthy and supportive relationships in your life when you're living with something that's out of your hands. And from there we have meditation, we have breath, nature, and movement. 5 things that we can really all do to bring us back to a state of calm.
Before I let you out of here, I got a minute left. What has this done for you to do this?
Oh man, it has become my purpose. I wasn't sure of who I was, where I was going necessarily, had so many interests in life with art, I studied environmental studies, and then, acknowledging my own condition and meeting my friend now, I just totally realized now what I was put on this planet to do.
This is your mission.
Yeah.
It's hard for you to appreciate this, and I'm not going to get overly philosophical, but you just helped an awful lot of people who will watch this as it repeats many times, and they'll want to find out more about Beyond My Battle and more about you and your story. But I know that your parents are proud of you, and everyone who's known you for just more than a few years are proud of you. We're proud of you as well. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
Thanks, Martel. Check you out next time, folks. Thank you.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating over 25 years of broadcast excellence. Funding for this edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been provided by Holy Name Medical Center in Teaneck, New Jersey, the Northward Center, the New Jersey Education Association, the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation, Summit Medical Group, Adler Aphasia Center, and by ADP. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area.